What is going on, everyone? We are back with another review, and this time we were reviewing the story that I would consider calling Toliver, which is the third story in The House of the Dead. Before we move any further, please check the link in the description below. If you hop over, you will see that you can sign up for the Patreon, get everything a full week early. This has been the longest story so far in the movie, and honestly, probably one of the better ones because of it, right? Because we had the miss, what's her face in the first one that I can't remember her name off the top of my head for some reason now. It was pretty short and it was honestly not that great. The second one was even shorter but better. That was Growski, or Growski, one of the two, however you pronounce it. And this one was a lot of fun. So this one revolves around an American investigator by the name of Toliver, who is considered one of the two leading investigators in the world, the other one being a guy from Scotland Yard. So he starts off by finding a guy who seemingly has been hanged. I say seemingly. He goes around looking at things in the room and comes to the conclusion that the guy, it was not a self-unaliving situation. It was somebody had done it. He could smell the scent of a perfume or a cologne of some sort that does not belong to the guy that was chilling from the rafters. Found ashes of a specific cigar that only one person seems to actually use in the state of New York. And he knew exactly where to even find him at this time of day. So they leave. The Scotland Yard guy is super. It shows up. He's there watching the end of the investigation. Tells him who he is, and asks if they could, hang out at dinner. So they go to dinner that night, and as they are wrapping up eating, a letter is found by reservation book and brought in, and Toliver reads it, and it says that somebody that he knows is going to be killed in 3 days, and hopefully he can figure it out before then. So he begins the investigation, and the Scotland Yard guy just asks him if he can spend hang out and watch him work. He says sure. So he goes through and starts to do some investigation, and the majority of the rest of the story is him doing the actual investigation. Like, he does comparisons to actually find where the newspaper clippings for the letters came from for the actual letter. Does some looking into as far as just looking into everything chemically and stuff like that, and comes to find out by the end of it, which I had predicted again, that it ends up being the guy from Scotland Yard. So he invites the guy from Scotland Yard over. They sit there together and talk. And he says, and remind you, this entire time during all of that, the guy from Scotland Yard was just trying to be absolutely infuriating, right, and irritating. So he says, I found out who is you. You're trying to kill me. And the guy from Scotland Yard is like, bravo, and I'm going to do it with a gun, because no one would suspect anyone from England to kill somebody with a gun. So he pulls out a gun, he shoots him, and the guy says, yeah, but what you fail to realize is I don't have, or I found this out 2 days ago. And he opens a thing, and all of a sudden you see the Scotland Yard guy, like, you hear the, and like, his eyes like go wide. You see blood start to drip down the front of him, and as his body leans forward, there's a sword or knife or something that had stuck through the couch. He closes it, the knife retracts back into the couch. He goes over, and as soon as he picks up the briefcase, I was like, I bet there's a bomb inside. He picks up the briefcase, he goes and sets it on a table. He opens up his shirt, there's a vest, and he pulls the bullet off the front of the vest. He lays it down, and as he opens the briefcase, stick a dynamite with a timer on it, and it reaches 0. The guy's eyes go wide, you hear the boom, and it goes back to the scene where the mortuary guy is talking with the dude from the very beginning. This was just a really fun story, and I honestly I would say it's probably the best one so far as the detail that goes into it. There's actually some thought put behind the story. As much as I loved the last story where the serial killer dude makes a joke after he kills the first lady. It's like, your life disappeared. This was just a very well written story. Obviously, leaning less from the horror side. That fits more in with. Honestly, the first one's the only one that actually seems to really have an actual horror feel, because it's about weird alien-like kids that bite people to death. But then the second one was about a serial killer, so it was more true crime than anything, as was this. It was 2 investigators going head-to-head. Even still, it was fun, so I enjoyed it. The next one is going to be the last one, and I think I'm going to go ahead and record it. Get it out the way. Get on with the next one. Let's go. So with that being said, love you guys. We'll see you next time.